The controls are not exactly like Smash. Unplayable! Alright, so I've been playing Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl the last few weeks, and I gotta be honest, and I hate to say this, but I'm kinda disappointed with Aang's and Korra's movesets. I don't know, maybe I'm just spoiled from Super Smash Bros. Or something, but Aang's moves are not a good representation of Aang's abilities. And the same could be said for Korra. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that their movesets are bad in the sense that they're not viable in this fighting game. What I'm saying is that their movesets are not good representations of these characters' abilities. Aang and Korra are not represented well. Now, I'm gonna go through several stages of disappointment here. So first of all, I was a little bit disappointed that Aang doesn't really get to use all the elements. I did have this idea that his neutral special could be a menu like Shulk's where he could switch between the elements, and then he could have different movesets depending on which element he was using. But I do understand that that is a lot to ask for, and I completely understand why they didn't do that. Now for my second stage of disappointment, somebody left a comment on one of my videos with a more reasonable idea for Aang's moveset. So, you know how Byleth has 4 different weapons in Smash, and that each of them corresponds to a direction? That's what they could have done for Aang. Down attacks could be earth, up attacks could be air, forward attacks could be fire, and neutral could be water, or something like that. Now, I guess they sort of kind of did this with Korra. She does seem to use 3 of the elements in her moveset. And I do understand why they would want to make Aang mostly just use air, so that they could have other characters use the other elements, like Toph using earth, and Zuko's probably gonna be a DLC, etc, etc. Now this brings me to my third stage of disappointment, and my main complaint about Aang's and Korra's movesets. Aang's and Korra's movesets hardly even feel like bending at all. They're mostly just kicks and punches with little elemental effects thrown in as an afterthought. The moves hardly have any range to them like bending usually does. Now, this would be a little bit understandable if the entire roster lacked ranged moves and disjointed attacks. Then I would think maybe it was just beyond the scope of the game, it's low budget or something. But that is not the case. Plenty of other characters on the roster have ranged and disjointed attacks, including Toph. Plenty of Toph's moves have range and disjoints to them. Toph's moves actually feel like bending. Why couldn't they make Aang's and Korra's moves like this? Maybe they didn't want all the Avatar characters to have ranged and disjointed attacks? Well, bending is basically disjointed martial arts, so anything short of that is going to feel like inadequate representation. I mean, Reptar has not 1, but 2 fire attacks with good range and area of effect. Why can't Aang and Korra have that? Think of all the missed opportunities here. Airbending slice, fire blasts, water whips, etc. Aang definitely should have had at least 1 ranged air attack that pushed the opponent, kinda like the bellows item thing in Smash. So yeah, Aang's and Korra's movesets just don't feel like bending. They feel like kicks and punches with small elemental effects thrown in as an afterthought. And a lot of the times, even the little elemental effects are drowned out by the purple, flashy, punchy effects. I don't know what those are called. I hate to say this, but it kinda reminds me of some of the fights in the Shyamalan movie. It also kinda reminds me of the episode where Zuko could barely firebend after he joins Aang. That's what this bending looks like. Maybe this is how Zuko will look if they add him. So yeah, I was planning on being an Aang main, but I guess I'm gonna be a Toph main now. She's the only one with moves that actually feel like bending. Well, I guess except for Reptar. Even he feels more like a bender than Aang or Korra does. Heck, a lot of the moves in Smash Bros feel more like bending than Aang's or Korra's do. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has really talked about this or how anyone else feels about this, but this is a huge missed opportunity. I can forgive Aang using mostly 1 element, but I have no idea why he and Korra are so short-ranged. If they ever make a sequel to this game, Aang and Korra need a serious rework. I don't know, I feel like Sakurai would have done a much better job representing the Avatar. Like, what the heck is Aang's neutral special? That's not even remotely like anything he ever does in the show. Same with Korra's. It's like some goofy Superman stuff. Like, what is this? You shouldn't really ever have to make up moves for characters that have so much fighting in their source material. I'll give credit where it's due though, they nailed Aang's taunt. 10 out of 10. Also, I know this has been said a lot, but why doesn't the game have voice acting? Like, you literally have a Smash Bros. Style game with a character whose most popular catchphrase is, "That was smashing," and you don't have voice acting? I understand it would be expensive to get the voice actors to record new lines, but why can't they just reuse voice clips from all the TV shows? Does anyone know why they haven't done this? Is it some weird copyright thing? They got the copyrights to the characters, but not their voices or something? Would they have to give royalties to the actors? If anyone knows, please tell me in the comments. I'm really curious because it would give the game so much more personality and make it a lot funnier, especially regarding the SpongeBob characters. For example, if this game had something like Star KOs, which it should have, there would already be a bunch of voice clips from the shows that they could use. I have heard rumors that they're adding voice acting, but I'm still wondering why they didn't have it in the first place. I also need to complain that this game doesn't have dodge rolls like Smash does. That's the one mechanic from Smash that I miss most in this game. It's driving me crazy. It would also be cool if there was like actual Nickelodeon music in this game. Imagine actual Avatar music in a fighting game. That would be epic. I don't know, is that a copyright thing too? Why can't they get that? I also think it's kind of crazy that the base game only had one costume for each character, and even now after the update, each character still only has 2 total costumes. Shouldn't there be at least as many total alternate costumes as there are total possible players? So there should be 4. It seems like it should be kind of expected of any fighting game like this. I mean, Smash 64 had alternate costumes, and that was, what, over 20 years ago? It's a real missed opportunity for the Avatar characters especially, because they would have a ton of alternate costumes you could just draw from the show. So yeah, those are pretty much all my major complaints about this game. But what about you guys? What do you guys think of Aang's and Korra's movesets? And what other complaints or compliments about this game do you have? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button for more Avatar-related videos. Hit the like button, support me on Patreon. Big thanks to my patrons, Charles Oberon, DJ Triple, Colleen West, Tania Foster, and Channel 45. I've been pretty busy lately, so sorry for the lack of videos. Alright, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll have Aang better represented in a platform fighter someday, and I'll see you next time.